There, this is section 3.2 on slope. Now, what is slope? Well, I think most of us have driven in a car. We've climbed a hill in this car, and that hill, it has a slant to it, and that slant is the slope. And so what we're going to do in this section is dedicated to slope, is to measure just how much a line slants. And so I'm going to start in question 5, because the first 4 questions are single answer, multiple choice type things that you can quickly answer. I'm going to go back to them after I actually show you what happens when you have to calculate a slope. But let's do this problem right here. Graph the line containing these 2 pairs of points right over here. Now understand, when you're graphing doesn't have to be this huge, massive undertaking. When you're graphing a line, all it takes are 2 points. That's it. You don't have to graph 10 points to graph a line. 2 points, and you graph those 2 points, and then you throw a line between them, and there you go. You have a line. So I'm going to graph these points. So basically what we're asked to do, you can either click this or you can click on the graph itself. And what we want to do is we click on the graph, we get this little palette down here. Always pick this line tool. So always pick that. All this other stuff is just a distraction for now, for upper level courses. And so what I'm going to do is play around with the mouse. See, as I move this cursor around with the mouse, it's telling you that this point right over here is -4, -3. So it's very difficult to actually get this graphing wrong. But let's take a look. Let's start in the center of the world. The center of the world is the origin. What we want to do is visit point -3, 3. So we have to go in the negative direction on the x. It's always horizontal first. And then we go up 1, 2, 3 right there. Click. We registered the point. You'll notice that, it doesn't stay there. At the bottom left, you'll see that that point is -3, 3. So okay, so the next point is 2, -1. 2 horizontal, 2, -1 down. I think that's the point. And so I clicked it, and there you go. The computer automatically drew a line between those 2 points. And so as you could tell, let me see if that's the right answer. I think that's the right answer. And they snuck in another question here. They said, well, find the slope of this line. Okay, we'll find the slope. But you're going to see that this line is going down. It's slanting down, because as you go along the x-axis in the positive direction, see, we're going in the positive direction, and x gets bigger and bigger. The y gets negative, more negative, more negative. It's going down. So this is sloping down. We expect that if we did everything correctly, because it's sloping down, we should get a negative number when we do the slope. So here's the formula you've got to remember. M is considered the variable for the slope. Don't ask me why it's M. It's always intrigued me, even back in junior high school days, why slope is given the letter M. Maybe it's slope in Latin begins with M. Who knows? But anyway, that's okay. There's the formula, what we need to do. y2 minus y1 x2 minus x1. So what the heck does that mean? Here's what this means. You take the difference of the y values of your 2 points divided by the difference of the x values of your 2 points. So what are your 2 points? Here's your 2 points right over here. You really can't tell by looking at the line what the graph or what the slope is. We got to start with the original points. So here's our 2 points. 2, -1. And you get to pick which point is considered point 1, point 2. That's what these little subscripts are, point 1, point 2. And I'll just say that's point 1 and this is point 2. So this is going to be our formula that we're going to use to calculate the slope. It says y2. Okay, 0.2, this is the y value, -1. Minus y1, the y value of 0.1 is 3. Divided by x2, the x value of 0.2 is 2, minus x1, the x value of 0.1 is -3. Now this -3 has nothing to do with this minus. Just understand that it's -3 that's being subtracted. So when I go ahead and do this, I get -4 up top. 2 minus a minus is +3. 2 plus 3 is 5. So this is considered the slope. This is considered the slope. Now what the heck does that mean? This means that if you move, take a look at this bottom number. If you were to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units in that direction positively, for every 5 units you move horizontally, you're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 units vertically. You're going to go down. So that's what the slope means. You're going to see these things called rise over run. Rise over run. Well, rise is not a good name for this problem here because you're not really rising -4. When you rise -4 units, you're really going down. So the rise is the measure of how much you go up or down depending upon how far horizontally you're going. That's a measure of slant. That's the measure of the slope. So let's take a like for instance, let's take a look at this point. Let's start over here. This point looks like it's intersecting here. Okay, so if I were to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units horizontally, I will be going down. Yes, I will be going down 1, 2, 3, 4. That's consistent. That's the slope. That is what the slope is. So let's put that in there. -4 over 5 should be the slope. Check your answer. That's it. That was it. So the rest of the problems look almost the same. Click on this. You can read all those words. Basically, compute the slope. Oh, okay, let's compute the slope. Let's don't save that. Start with a new fresh sheet of virtual paper. M equals y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. That's our slope formula. Whenever you want to calculate the slope, I automatically throw that formula on my paper to remind me of what I need to do. So you have your 2 points. Compute the slope using those 2 points. Okay, will do. Throw those 2 points on your paper. Okay. These subscripts indicate which point you're dealing with. So let's pick the first one as 0.1, the first point 0.2. It doesn't really matter. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in those values into my slope formula. Let's see, y2. y2 is the second point. The y value is 5. Put a 5 in there. Minus y1. Well, y1 is got a y value of 0. Throw that there. x2 is -4 minus the x value of 0.1 is 0. Okay. So it looks to me like I got 5 over -4. And it's not cool to have the negative on the bottom. If anything, I would put it up top. Like so. Because here's what that means to me. If you move horizontally 4 units, you're going to go down 5. That's the slope. So I'm going to put that in there and put that here and say, well, -5/4 should be the answer, and I think they're going to ask us to graph that. Yeah, they're going to graph that next. Sort of the opposite of the previous problem. So I'm going to click on the graph. Always pick that line. 0, 0. That's easy to find. Center of the world, right there. Click it. Then we've got -4, 5. -4, 5 is right there. Click that, and that's consistent with a negative slope because it's going down. Check your answer. Great job. So we did 2 of those. Okay. Plot the points. Okay. Plotting the points is actually a lot of fun, at least to me, on the computer anyway. You don't need any graph paper. You don't need any calculator. Basically, what you need to do is just click find 2 points, and the computer draws a line between them. Okay, let's plot 0, 5. 0, 5. No horizontal movement. See? Just stay where you are and go up 5. Click. Now, and 0, 1. 0, 1 means no horizontal motion. Click 1. Is that correct? I think it is. Okay, this is interesting. This is a special case where this is a vertical line, And if you attempted to find the slope of a vertical line, this is what you're going to end up getting. I'm going to keep this formula up here. 0, take these 2 points. 0, 5, 0, 1. Okay, M equals. Let's see what that is. Y2. Oh, call this point 1, call this point 2. Y2 is 1 minus Y1 is 5. Okay. X2 is 0 minus X1 is 0. I end up getting a -4 up top divided by 0 on the bottom. But wait, no good. NG. You can't divide by 0. So this is one of those oddball cases that says, listen, the slope of this thing can't be calculated, because if I did try to calculate it, I would get a divide by 0. That's why this is a situation where you get an undefined. You just have to pick undefined for that. Vertical lines are undefined. Okay, vertical lines are undefined. You just have to memorize that. Okay, good job, good job. Now we got this guy here. Graph the line. You know what? I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to have some fun doing this. So I'll leave you with number 8. Okay, and so let's do this one. I'll do this one. Okay. File. Let's clear this out. Don't save. File, new. Okay. Move this over here. And let's plot these points. Let's have some fun. Click on that graph. Pick the line tool. Let's see what you got. We got -1 horizontal, -3 vertical. Click. Okay, now let's do 3. 1, 2, 3, the next point, and -3. There you go, click. Is that correct? Yes, it is. It is correct. Now, what's the slope of that? Well, this, I could tell you that the slope of this is 0, just by looking at it. You know why? Because this is a line that's horizontal. Okay, if anybody did any carpentry, okay, you know that they have this little device called a level, and you know when you want to find if something is level, you make sure the level, there's a little bubble of water that you see that's got to be in the middle. There's no slope to it when that little bubble's in the middle of the gauge. This has no slope. In other words, if I were to move over 1 unit, it doesn't go up or down. But if you didn't know that, that's okay. That's okay, because you still have the basic equation. Okay, there's your 2 points. 3 minus a negative, 3 comma, comma. That's an ugly comma. Bear with, I can't have that. I can't have that. That's an ugly looking comma. Okay, let's fix that up nice and pretty. Okay, now we can go ahead and put up a better looking comma. Negative 3. And then this is 0.1 and this is 0.2. And the slope of that is equal to y2 minus y1. So take the y value of 0.2 minus the y value of 0.1. Okay, minus a negative number. Bear that in mind. This is x2, 3 minus a negative 1. Okay, 3 minus the x value of 0.1. So y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Now this top guy is negative 3 plus 3, which would be 0, divided by 3 plus 1, which is 4. And ultimately, we calculated an answer that gives you 0. So that's okay. You can have a 0 in the numerator. You just can't have it in the denominator. So this is a horizontal line. Remember, horizontal lines have 0 slope. They're level. Check your answer. There you go. That's it. Now this is probably not the hardest problem. Yeah, I guess it's the hardest problem in this homework, problem number 10. And it really makes you understand what slope means. So they didn't give you 2 points. What they gave you was 1 point and the slope. Well, here's how you graph that. Click on that. Click on the graph. Always pick that line point. I always start in the center of the world. Okay, pick what we can plot. What we can plot. Negative 2, negative 3. Boom, right there. There's the line. Now it'd be nice to have another point, but what they did give us is that this is the slope. The slope is 2. Understand what the slope means. It means if it's a slope of 2, if I move horizontally 1 unit, you gotta go up 1, 2. That's where you can find the second point. Okay, let's start over again. Here's like our little anchor point. Negative 2, negative 3. That's like a little anchor point. When the slope is 2, what they're telling you is if you move horizontally 1 unit, you've got to go up 1, 2 units. Click that, and that's got to be the answer. Okay, now this problem here is not the hardest in terms of calculating. It's the hardest in terms of the concept of slope. If you understand what I just did there, you could you got what the idea of slope. Okay, let's try another one. Is there going to be another one like that? Oh, okay, yeah, sort of like that. Click on that. See, same thing. Line here. Plot the 0, 4. Okay, 0 horizontal, don't move 4 vertical. Boom. A slope of 0 means move over 1 unit and don't go up or down. Don't go up or down. Stay 0 units vertically, rather. 0 units vertically. Horizontal line. It's got to be a horizontal line. Slope is 0. Check your answer. Nice. Nice, nice. Oh, okay, now this is just an oddball right here. This is the oddball because how do you graph a slope of undefined? Well, this is what you do. Okay, here's what you do. You still plot the 5, 9. You always have to plot that anchor point. 5, 9, 9, 9, 9. 5, 9 is over here. Click. Now, what was an undefined slope? An undefined slope means it's a vertical line. That's what it means. So in order to get a vertical line, just make sure you pick any point. It doesn't matter what other point you pick. Just make sure you have another point that maintains a vertical line. I'm going to say that this is it right over here. I could have picked one down here as long as I picked a vertical line. Okay, that's something that makes a vertical line. So check your answer. Nice work. And the rest of these are now just short answer problems here. Indicate whether the graph of the slope is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Well, this is a graph. Okay, this is a slope that's going up. Okay, as I move horizontally in the positive direction, it's going up. So that's a positive slope. They don't want you to know what it is, but that's a positive slope. What is the slant of the line? Well, it's not vertical, right? It's not horizontal. It's neither. See, the vertical and horizontal are the oddball cases. Well, this is the same kind of question, but this is a negative slope because as you go positively on the x direction, you're going down. So it's got to be a negative slope. Going down. That's it. Oh, what's the slant? Well, it's not horizontal. It's not vertical. It's neither. It's neither both horizontal or vertical. So those are quick answer questions. Now, this is a vertical line. Okay, this is a vertical line. A vertical line has an undefined slope, and the line is vertical. Okay, it's consistent with what we've got. Now, this is a zero slope. See, after we did our calculations in the middle, the rest of these things are straightforward. Zero slope, and that's a, oh, that's a good job, and then that's a horizontal line. And see what's next. Okay, we got, okay, this is the slope of the line positive, negative, okay. An auto store manager is constantly receiving tires and shipping and selling tires to customers. That's good. She counts the number of tires at the start of the day, x is 0, is the start of the day, and recounts them throughout the day. The graph shows the results. So apparently she's not selling too many tires because at the end of the day she has more tires than when she started with. Okay. Is the slope positive? The slope is positive. It's going up. I bet you there's another question. No, it's it. Okay. The graph on the right shows the amount of garbage deposited in a landfill A. Okay. Okay, so this is landfill A in blue and landfill B in red from 3 to 7 months. Okay. Decide whether the amount of garbage in the landfill is growing at the same rate. Well, it's not growing at the same rate because they have different slopes. It looks to me that the landfill B is more popular because as I move along in the same number of months, I've got more garbage in there. As opposed to in the same number of months, you still have more garbage, but not as much as the landfill here. Now, you could calculate the slopes. Okay, are they growing at the same rate? No. If they were growing at the same rate, the slopes would be the same, and those two lines would be in parallel. Okay, so if the slopes are the same rate, the same value, you would say they're in parallel, but they're not in parallel. Okay, if you were going at the same rate, this will eventually hit somewhere over here, and so they would cross. And that's it. Okay, no problem. Now I skipped the first few questions. Let's see. The slope of a line is it's also called its rate of change. Okay, they call that the rise over the run. All right, so if you move horizontally a certain amount, how much do you go up or down? That's the rate of change. A line with negative slope is decreasing. That's not hard to understand. Negative sort of means you're decreasing. And the last thing is number 3. Fill in the blank. A line with 0 slope is horizontal. Final check. Okay, you could read that. And I think we start, oh, we didn't do, 2 non-vertical lines are parallel if and only if their slopes are equal. They're parallel. They don't meet. They don't hit each other. Perpendicular is where they cross, and they cross in a 90-degree angle. We're not going to do too much with perpendicular. Okay, that's it. I think we're done with this. We started. Okay, yeah. No. Final check. Okay. Now the next question. We started with that. Okay. We did the slopes. Now you're going to do the slopes. You're going to do homework 3.2 and get 100 and make us all proud. Okay, we'll see you at 3.3.